Assalamu Alaikum, welcome back to my channel. And this video was not planned, but I got a comment asking me what books I read, so I thought might as well just make a video about it. Even though I don't read much of a book, like I'm not a book person, I rarely read physical books. Normally I listen to audiobooks or read digital books, or mostly I love quotes or phrases or certain chapters from different books which I find all over the internet and write them down in my journal or my quote book, and that's a habit from a long time. So I don't have much of a book recommendation, but once if I start reading a book and I find it very useful or something insightful, I can't forget about that book. So I thought that even though I have few collection or few book name I remember, so I thought that maybe they will be useful for certain people, so I'm gonna share that in this video. Let's start with the basics first. First book is Atomic Habits. Can you see it? Is it opposite? I don't know how, if I can invert it, but Atomic Habits. This book is my first purchase. This is the first book I bought with money, and I literally didn't read this book. After reading 25 pages, I stopped reading this book. But so many people swears by this book, so many things, and I think this book is very insightful. Not because they actually give you the things to change your life or become disciplined, because at the end of the day no book can do that except you yourself. But I think this books makes you like put those habits, those things into perspective. Like I never thought that small things, small steps can make your life so much easier or understandable, or I never thought so deep about habits. And I really love the stories this author put inside this book, like some of the stories which I found very helpful, or that made me realize there's this type of people or this type of humans too, and that we can also become like them. So I think I think lots of people, they're 50-50, like some people really loves this book or some people doesn't. In my opinion, this was my first book I finished reading, so I think physical books, so I think it's good. Because I finished reading this, so there must be something good in this, because it's very hard for me to finish a physical book. So first is Atomic Habits. And this is so silly, but I don't know if someone is learning Japanese, this will be useful. This is from Daiso. This is for hiragana, and there are also books which is for katakana and kanji, but this is my teacher gave this to us in our classes, and I think it's very useful. I tried to learn Japanese almost for 4 years, but I couldn't learn, and even I learned, I used to forget them. But I think this books really helps you memorize that. I literally finished reading like memorizing katakana in 2 days because of this book. And there's another chart we got, I think it's on the back if you can see it. So I think this is very useful if you're learning Japanese. This is how it looks. It's literally for kids, but I think it's very useful if you're learning Japanese. And yeah, that's that. Another book is this. I don't think much people knows about this, but this is a testimony of an Ugran woman, and this is written by a Japanese person. I found this book in a mosque in Japan. I think that was my first time going to a mosque, and I found this book, and it was free. They were literally delivering this to everyone. It was literally kept there for people to take it. And I think I wish this book was much more trending, or I think people should know about this story, because this story is so heartbreaking. And I'm so sad that lots of people doesn't know about this, what's happening in Ugran Chinese Ugran Muslims. And I think more people should read this book, and I will try to link this below. Hopefully this book becomes more famous, or it's viral or something, because I think this story is so painful, and more people should learn about this. And I will recommend 2 digital books. One is my favorite and another is my friend swears by it. So first I will show hers. This book is called ATemporaryGift, Reflection on Love, Loss and Healing. This how it looks. Like she said that this is like the book which will make you cry, so be prepared. Like, this is not a fun book. This is gonna tell you deep things about love, loss and healing. This story is, even though I didn't read this by myself, but I heard the summary and the way she described it, believe me, you're gonna read this and you're gonna love it. And yeah, I'm just waiting to get this book on my hand. I'm trying to find PDF, but it's very hard for me to read PDF. I don't know why. It looks very dull, like I'm reading some report or something. So I'm looking for more not affordable, aesthetic, I don't know why, but aesthetic book, free of course. But if I can't, maybe one day I will buy this book and read this, because I really heard good things about that. So I'm gonna link this below too if you want to read it. And another book which is weird, and I'm very embarrassed to say this, I found this book in Wattpad. Okay, I know it sounds weird, but this book is called Heaven's Flower. Can you see it? Why everything is inverted? This book is called Heaven's Flower, and I can't tell you how much I love this book. Like, in my Wattpad, like, I read so many type of stories, but I think this book is the most amazing story I can ever read in my life. Because I thought, when I was reading this book, I thought it was about love story, something very painful between a non-Muslim and a Muslim girl, I thought something like that. But this book made me fall in love with my Lord, my Allah, literally. While I was reading this book, the way Abdullah found his God, and the way the girl, the Heaven's Flower, Hazel, the way she's so devoted to his Rabb, his Lord, her God, it made me appreciate, or made me want to become like her. That I wish I had the same devotion to my God. And the relation she has with her parents is wonderful. Like, believe me, I wish if I can be a parent one day, I would love to be like Hazel parents. Hazel parents are the best. And I think everyone should be like Abdullah, even though my friends keep saying me that Abdullah doesn't exist, or even if it exists, it's like 1 in a billion. But I hope that we can all become like Hazel and Abdullah one day. And this book is amazing. I think the author name is Mahi. I really need her to like release a physical book of it. I think she did. I'm not sure it's a physical book, or I think ebook or something, but I really want a physical book. I want to have this book in my library. I really love this book so much, so I'm gonna link that below. And yeah, that's 2 digital books I would love to recommend. Another thing is, this is weird, but as I said you that I love to write quotes and stuff, so this is the another 3 things I read a lot. Let me explain. So this book, this is from my high school or junior school or something. So this is very old, you can see by the paper and cardboard, whatever. So I remember, I don't know why, but I used to write lots of duas when I was young. Whenever I loved a dua, or I find something Islamic or something, I used to write it down. So this is the book I read. I Alhamdulillah that I wrote these things, because this makes me so happy. and it's like a book, you know, like this is literally like lots of Islamic duas and surahs. I have written it down. So why I'm sharing this with you, because I hope you do the same thing, because this not only shows that what was my mindset back then, but it's also helpful for me right now. You know, I wrote all the duas I used to frequently search about or frequently wanted to learn, and I have this book or this notebook which, you know, I can read, and you know, like I don't have to search, because I'm very old-fashioned in that way. I don't like digital stuff written and stuff, because I tried so many times like writing them in the notebook or something, but I never go back and see them. But physical thing, like in my notebook, I always gravitate towards it. So I really love myself for that past Asya did that, and this is wonderful. Recently I started doing that too, but it's about the surahs. So I started writing not reflections, summaries of the surahs which I really love, or which surahs has very deep meaning to me. I wrote it down, and I wish to maybe in future, or you know, in Ramadan, I would love to go back to this and read it. I wrote some summaries, my favorite verses. I will maybe one day I will make a video about all the surahs, or one surah at a time, and I would really love to share this with my friends, because you know, even though I know I'm not perfect, even though I know I'm not very educated or a wise person, but even if my one thing, one word, one sentence can change or bring some reflection to a person, I think that will mean a world to me. So I would really love to finish this. I would really love to write all the summaries of all the surahs, and you know, see them one day, or read them one day, or share it with my friends and on the internet. So I'm waiting for that. This is my this Ramadan's goal, writing all the surahs and their summaries and their reflection, little bit of reflection. So I can't wait for that. And in same category, I have my journal. Hear me out, girl. If you're not journaling, you need to start journaling, because journaling tells you a lot about yourself. And if you don't know yourself, you're not gonna like go forward, you know, life, in my opinion, you know, because at the end of the day, I said in my previous video too that everything starts with you. So I normally I don't read my journal, because I think most of the time in journal we write our negative thoughts and feelings. But you know, sometimes I write my reflection, the lessons I learned, the new things I discovered in life. So you know, reading this not only shows what type of person I am, but it also shows me that what type of person I want to become, and it makes me want to strive towards it. So I hope that you really start journaling from this video. And if you do, I hope that you don't only write negative things, but also positive things. So in life, you can reflect on them and get to know yourself a little bit more. And yeah, that's for my notebook. And lastly, I saved the best for the last. These two books. One is this the Noble Quran with English language with translation. This is part 30. Only 30 surahs are there. And another is Quran. Okay, let me first start with the translation. So this book we learn in our school. We used to learn surahs, and I think getting to learning the surahs and with the meanings is very helpful. And I think this book went through so much. This book is from I think grade 6, 7 or something, or maybe even lower, and this book went through so much. And this book really made it so easy to learn the surahs and memorize the surahs. And it has rough translation, a little bit of understanding of the surahs. So I think that's very important. Most of the time in our religion we try to make our kids memorize things which they don't know the meaning, and I don't think that sticks with them. But alhamdulillah that in our school we had this book, so we could not only learn the surahs but also know a little bit about them. And that made me fall in love with so many surahs in school, like Shams and Wadduha or Surah Fatiha even, because it has meanings. So it really made me appreciate some of the surahs, and I think that more schools and more parents should do that too, like teach your kids how to learn the surahs but also like the meaning behind them. And another is Quran. I will not love, like I don't have wudu, so I'm not gonna touch it. But this Quran is given by my friend. She gave it to me, and this went in so many places with me, even though I know I don't need it, but I take it everywhere, and I hope even if I die tomorrow it's with me. And this is the best book. I saved this for the last because this is the best book. If you read Quran, you don't need any other book. All the reflection, all the philosophy, all about love, hate, judgment, or whatever the solution, science, maths, whatever. If you read Quran, believe me, you will be solving 99 problems of your life. Best book ever. I really hope that even all the books, if you don't read any of the books I recommended or anything I said, just read the Quran. If you can find the Quran in your language, I would highly recommend you to read the Quran with the meaning. And believe me, it will give you so many perspective in your life that no other book in the world can do it. And it will give you so much peace and sense of assurance in life that no other book will give you and no amount of knowledge can give you. So I will really recommend reading the Quran. And I hope you find this video helpful and I wasn't very aggressive. And hopefully this video finds a person who seeking guidance and knowledge in their life. And I hope these books or these thoughts I put out there is helpful. And with that, I'm gonna end this video because it's getting too long. And with that, Allah Hafiz, Fi Amanillah, and bye.